How's it going? Welcome to the live stream. Hope you're having a great day. Whew. Getting started a little early. Seems like a few people have already showed up, so all I'm doing is if you read the comments, I'm just sitting here watching the clock, so I'm right on time because my OCD won't let it be any other way. So let's break the rules today. What's up, Chip? What's up, Bootleg Blades? Man, Bootleg, I saw on Instagram you're using Jeep parts to make a few knives. Yeah, man. Can't wait to see how that turns out. I hope they're knives. They look like they're going to be knives. So, oh, man. And, Chip, I think you're getting the Instagram bug. I was going to save this for later, but, that's all right. But, yeah, man. That's good, though. It's good. It's fun posting and getting all, into Instagram and this community and all that, which, man, a lot of this is going to be about, a lot of this thing is, or this live stream is going to be about the knife making community and the knife community and Instagram and YouTube and all that and stuff like that. But we'll save that for later and all that. First, whew, man, yesterday I actually took a break and relaxed a bit. I think I worked about half the day trying to work on handles and stuff and, fighting this white handle. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Which one is it? Yeah. Whew. I don't know about that white G10, man. It's it's a beast. At least I got a video out of it, or starting on a video, but man, any little thing, all you see is black spots and all that, and whew, man. Bootleg Blades, they're gussets for the coil over towers. Oh, okay. I thought you were going to turn them into like Kiradashis. All right. But man, yeah, this white G10, whew, any little imperfection shows up, and man. But I spent all day and finally broke out the flints and got it all buffed out. I buffed it. I went to 1,000 grit. First I put it on the belts and got it up to like a A30, and then I tried buffing it. And once you buff it, all the black marks and all the spots you missed just pop. And it's like, oh, man. So I had to get some I had to break out the sandpaper and sit there and hand sand it, which, if you guys know, I hate hand sanding. So, but I did it, and then I buffed it again, and more black spots would show. Oh, man. Whew. But, Chip, I actually did that for you because I actually got the G10 shiny. I know you're always asking about Steve's knives, how he gets his wood so shiny, but it's not wood. It's either micarta made to look like wood or G10. So yeah, the next video, hopefully if I get it edited, will show how to get it all shiny and nice, because I'm not doing it again. I don't like shiny handles. Sometimes they're appropriate and stuff like that, but whew. But anyway, I got sidetracked. Yeah, so I decided to relax yesterday, and usually relaxing for me means, okay, go make some new music or go edit, that's my work for me is more relaxation. But I was like, man, you know what? I'm just going to watch the last two Avenger movies because I haven't seen them, which I actually watched the last one and then the one before that, so I got it all backwards. Once again, my dyslexia kicks in. I forgot there was a third one that was like the prequel to the fourth one, but yeah, so I spent like, 6-7 hours just watching movies, and man, I woke up this morning rough. My back was all locked up, like, man, why aren't you working? It's like, man, woof. Good Lord. It's like, man, you can't stop working because you're old. You stop working, man, everything locks up on you. Oh, man. Chip says he was sporting the t-shirt yesterday. Right on. I dig that. I had to dig through the old laundry to, man, I wear all my shirts and then I don't have any clean ones. I had to clean this one up and put it on. So I'm trying, I've been watching a lot or noticing since I've been making shirts and stuff, a lot of YouTubers only wear their own shirts. So, I kind of feel weird about it, but maybe, like I've always said, I'm trying to figure out this selling thing and, figure out how to do all that. So I'm trying to push the Amazon links and push my shirts and all that and wear my shirts so people see them. And feels wrong. It just feels wrong. Oh, man. But it's the only way to learn. Whew. All right. Let's get into some good topics. It's funny because I'll get some comments, you know, like guys that are just starting out in knife making or stuff like that. And they're always like, man, I wish I could make a knife as fast as you. Or, man, you're making that knife so fast, man. Man, you must have all this experience. Or, man, you know, you got some skills. You can make these knives so fast. But what they don't see is that, you know, I got, 3 cameras. And off these 3 cameras, there's like 6 hours of footage. So when you see me grinding for like even a minute, you know, that minute's probably like 20 or 30 minutes. You know, so everything you see me do isn't that time span. It's like 10 times that time span. Like when I speed things up, I'm speeding them up like 6 or 7 times faster than they used to be. Hey, what's up, Stalking Wolf? How's it going? So, yeah, if you watch YouTubers, the thing is, with most videos, they're edited because people don't want to sit there and just watch the same thing over and over. So I'll cut 40 minutes of grinding down to like one or 2 minutes. I try to keep, you know, the grinding parts and stuff down to 1 or 2 minutes because people, it's just the same thing over and over. Now lately, I've been throwing it in where I'll do it the regular speed for like, you know, maybe 30 seconds, 40 seconds, or if I'm showing a new grind or a different grind, I'll put in the regular speed. And then, you know, I'll try to find a song that kind of has a slower tempo and then kicks up. And then right when it kicks up, I'll speed it up. But yeah, it's so funny that people are just like, oh man, I get the comment lately a lot. It's like, man, you've got some skills. You make those knives fast. I wish I could make those knives that fast. So, oh, Stalking Wolf just had surgery. Gallstones and the gallbladder was removed. Woo, man. I hope you start doing better, man. Get well. Take care of yourself. That's one thing with these surgeries and stuff. Man, it's, you know, it knocks you, you know, when I had my heart surgery, I was at like the weakest point in my life. I couldn't even stand up and balance and stuff. And the one kind of good thing is your body kind of takes over. You know, you're in pain and stuff, but, and it sucks while you're there. But, you know, as time passes and things get a little bit better, you know, you heal up and you kind of forget about what you just went through. But yeah, man, you got to take care of yourself with stuff like that because, you know, I had a habit of, oh, I don't need to go to the doctor. I don't need to follow up on this and all that. And whew, that just makes things a lot worse, you know. Don Bond, hey, what's going on? All right, but, yeah, so it always strikes me as funny that people think that I actually make these knives that fast because, you know, most guys, the funny thing is, most guys in these videos, they make a whole knife in their 10, 20-minute video. In fact, I got a comment like that on the heat treating video, the last heat treating video. Someone was like, aren't you going to show the results? It's like, well, there are no results yet. I'm still working on it, so. Don, love your channel. Thanks for sharing. Most knife makers are so secretive and full of misconception. Oh, I appreciate that. Hey, what's up, Stamper Knives? What's up, Gravere? You made it. Looks like your internet's not down. We missed you last week. But I have been getting better at breaking up my time from like editing and knife making. You know, I try to, you know, I usually crash about 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. after I take care of Mom. And then I get up, you know, 6 or 7 and take care of her again. Sometimes I'll fall back to sleep for an hour or 2, but usually when I do that, I feel even rougher. So I just try to stay up and drink a whole bunch of B vitamin drinks and stuff and come down here and just start working on stuff. So that's really helped me with the knife making because it used to be like I'd either make knives or I'd edit or I'd make music, you know. but I would never do them all in the same day. So now I'm just kind of breaking them up and spreading them out. But yeah, so yeah, when you see these guys doing YouTube videos, believe me, a lot of times, you know, there are some guys that can do knives really fast, but a lot of the times, you know, it's just that quick edit where they don't do a lot of editing. They just put it up what they do. And yeah, so just because you see someone making a knife fast doesn't mean that's really how they're making it. That's just how they're cutting it for you to see it. You know, that's the great thing about YouTube and editing. We only let you see what we want you to see. That's why a lot of people have these great personalities and you know, everything's always so good. Even on Instagram, you know, social media is notorious for only showing the best parts of life. You know, you look at people on Instagram, it's like, man, I wish I had that life. Well, that's because that's the part of life they want you to see. You know, and knife making, all that stuff. They don't want you to see, you know, sitting there for hours just slaving over something and all that stuff. But yeah. Oh man. Yeah. I mean, look, I started I got that was a week and a half ago. I did all the vinegar and these knives still aren't done. You know, like I said, if you guys missed it, I spent 5 hours just on this handle alone yesterday. You know, I don't like doing shiny handles, but I figured it had to be done, so I shot the video. 5 hours just on these 2 handles. Oh, yes. Oh, man. Bootleg Blaze says he doesn't edit too much and usually show screws up. Yeah, lately I've been showing my screw ups too. I used to just put them at the end, but you only have like 20 seconds at the end, so some stuff that's repetitive screw-ups, like my talking, I'm always screwing up my talking, I cut out because, you know. But, Don Bond, the handles look beautiful, thanks. Appreciate that. Yeah, Bootleg Blades, your videos are great, though, because, you know, you do all the forging stuff and building stuff and all that stuff, and man, that's the stuff I want to learn. You know, that I'm not good at, and it really helps me out a lot. So that's what's awesome about this community. And, you know, just because you're not making knives, you're making things to show how to make knives, or what, you know, the forges and stuff. You know, Jay Keaton Knives, all that. He does all that stuff too. Man. And it's funny, because there's this one YouTuber who started a new Facebook group, if you guys are on Facebook, and his name is, Dies in Every Film. He also has I've watched him on YouTube for a couple years. Man, I love that name, Dies in Every Film. But he doesn't really make knives. He like restores stuff, makes axes, all kinds of stuff. And he doesn't really talk, but he puts a lot of humor into his videos. But he just made a group and he reached out to me and asked me to share it. You know, if you're on Facebook, go and check him out, Dies in Every Film. And, yeah, tell him Dave from Invader Knives sent you. And I started thinking about this part because I used to say that as a joke, you know. Yeah, if you go check this guy out, tell him Dave from Invader Knives sent you. But lately, I've been really noticing, like, trends on Instagram, trends on Facebook, trends on YouTube. And if they could, they would do away with knife making or knives and all that. And, you know, so we need to figure out ways to build this community. So if we all get together and kind of share each other's things and come together as knife makers or, you know, people, knife enthusiasts and all that stuff, we can figure out ways to kind of override Instagram. You know, when I was trying to promote on Instagram and Facebook, their policy says you're allowed to do sales, or you're allowed to do promotions if it doesn't lead to the sale of weapons. And I don't sell anything on Instagram. But if you put something like, if you put something up on Instagram and put hashtag knife sale, they discontinued that. It's against community guidelines. And the one, Hatcher Knives, just posted this last week. They've banned knife community. Now, knife sales I get. You're not allowed to sell knives on Instagram. But knife community is banned now because it doesn't follow guidelines. So we need to band together. It's our community too. And the thing that's bad about, Instagram, YouTube, all these, that they don't like the weapons thing. But the thing is, what are we going to do? Be like, oh, well, we'll just go away from those. But no, because that's the sites where we're known most. These are the things that we need to build our community, even though they're trying to push out our community. Like photography and stuff. It doesn't matter how many things on photography you say, hashtag all that. It's going to be promoted by YouTube and Instagram and Facebook. But any little thing, they're just trying to push out knives because it has to do, with what they consider weapons. And I think I said this a couple weeks ago. When you look at knives, there are so many things about knives that weapons are like the smallest part. You need knives for cooking. You need knives for, cutting boxes. You need knives for eating. You need knives for anything. Weapons are like the smallest part when it comes to knives. So, now the whole gun thing I could see as a weapon, but I can also see guns as a tool. People need to hunt, which reminds me, I've made it clear that on YouTube and stuff like that, I promote my videos using Google Ads. Now with the knife making thing, I've had them disprove it where I couldn't run my ads because of weapons. But I've never had a live stream that got disapproved. And when it got disapproved, it wasn't for weapon talk, it was for shocking behavior. Now, I have a pretty good idea because I was looking at the thing and it said profanity, but I don't think the profanity did it. If you go back and watch I was talking about defending myself and animals and people and stuff like that. I'll kind of leave it at that. But I think that was the shocking behavior. That was a little over the top. And I talked about a few things, but it's like, oh man, I've never gotten that one before. Shocking behavior. Yeah, Chip, he said, what about kitchen cutlery? Yeah, chef's knives, that's what I mean. There's so many, cooking, eating, when it comes to knives as a weapon. See, the thing is, when you even say like self-defense, that makes it a weapon. Because I was talking to someone else on Instagram, it's like, man, we need to find new hashtags or new things to promote our community. And he said, well, what about defense tool or something about defense tool? But that, to them, insinuates you're going to use it as a weapon because you're carrying it in case someone attacks you. So, but, Don, are you going to make any kitchen knives? I made one a long time ago, but I don't know anything about chef knives and all that. And so, what if I was to make another one? It would just be, to get the hidden tang or something. Because I don't cook. I throw things in the microwave or, take them out of the package or put them on the stove and stuff like that. Cook soup. So when it comes to chopping and all that, I wouldn't know how to make a correct kitchen knife. Now I love the designs and, the traditional Japanese. Like the guy that got me into knife making, man, he has all these knives. All these sweet, different kinds of, Japanese kitchen knives and, traditional cooking knives and chef's knives and all that. And he shows it to me and I'm like, okay. Yeah, I mean, they look amazing and stuff like that, but I don't really know what I'm looking at, if that makes sense. You show me a compound grind. Yeah, I know that's kind of like a, compound grind, or maybe a tactical knife, or you show me a hunting knife. Yeah, it's either a convex grind or a regular grind or, flat grind. But chef's knives are usually, full flats but yeah, they are sweet. Chip says they are so beautiful. They are. Whew. So, let's get into the title of the video. I'm not a knife maker, which is kind of, once I started thinking about it, kind of tied into the community. Because I'm not just a knife maker. I'm part of a community of knife makers and stuff like that. But the funny thing is, the reason I got the idea, because I've been listening to that Knife Talk podcast a lot. You know, I told you, I put it up on my browser and stuff, so now every night I turn it on to turn off my brain, and it helps me fall asleep listening to it. But the egotistical part in me, because every once in a while they'll have a new knife maker, every once in a while they'll have a knife maker on as a guest. So my head is like, well, what would you say if you were on there, you know? Because everything's about me. But I'm like, you know what? I'm not really a knife maker. I'm a bevel enthusiast that just has to make the rest of the knife. Excuse me. I love designing knives and stuff like that. And cutting them out and stuff like that's fun, and shaping them and getting them all grinded down. But even if I had someone to do that, you know, send it out and send me like 30 blanks, I would love just doing bevels. And handles, I love shaping the handles and getting the handles to look right, but I don't like finishing the handles. I don't like hand sanding, you know? So it's like, I'm not really a knife maker. I'm just a bevel enthusiast. It's like, you know, the rest of the knife making, I just have to do because that's the only way to make the bevels look better. Oh, man. The SLG Foxy, hey, how's it going? Don Butt said, I think you can make an amazing chef's knife, especially it's a good way to get new followers and new customers. Yeah. See, that kind of ties into what I was talking to you about before with the Instagram stuff, because when I was trying to promote my stuff on Instagram, I changed a lot of the things about it. Like I made a new page to promote my stuff from. And I would do that, and I would be like, you know, tools, you know, these are tools, not, you know, instead of promoting a knife, I promote a tool, handmade tools, or handmade, you know, stuff like that on that lines, where I wouldn't say it was a knife. And, you know, a whole bunch of people started coming in, and, but they would click away because they would see it wasn't about tools, it was about knives. And since I don't know much about kitchen knives, if I started making kitchen knives, I'm sure with just the way I'm too honest a lot of times, people would call me on my BS and be like, oh, this guy doesn't make kitchen knives. Click. So, yes, it might bring people in, but bringing people in that aren't interested in what you're talking about, I found is really counterproductive. You know, at first it might seem like, oh man, all these people. And I used to do all these tactics, you know, find different things and all that stuff to bring people in, but then they leave. That's why, like, over the last year or something, I've been progressing and trying to just be more about what I want to make and what I would have wanted to learn when I was starting out. And man, you guys are just like flooding with questions and interest, and like, you know, look at, if you go back and look at the beginning of this live stream, there was, you know, Chip was here and Bootleg Blades was here. It's like you guys, you know, it's a community built on, you know, what we're interested in. Now, if you want to talk about chef's knives and stuff, that's great. It's knife related and I can dig it, you know, but I don't know much about it. And actually it's good because that's as I stutter, these are things you can teach me. So maybe if I did learn more about chef's knives, maybe I would get interested in making them more. But I just don't know enough about them to be interested in them, if that makes sense. I don't know any other way to put it. So, Matt Shepard, hey, what's going on? Make some wicked knives. I bet you can make some mint kitchen knives. Yeah. You know what? Maybe I'll give it a shot. I got a few projects coming up that a couple people have contacted me about, and but maybe I'll get to it. I've got a whole bunch of. One of these days I'll catch up with all my ideas. So, like, I want to build a forge out back, but I don't want to build the forge. I just want to make, like, I want to call it like a ghetto forge. Because the thing I realized, I show you guys all these heat treating videos, but they're all with an oven. So I just kind of want to make a ghetto forge to show you, like, 1095-01 from a forge, from a cheap forge, you know, made from, like, ghetto material. Well, it'll be from the bricks I took out of my old oven. So, but I realized that people are like, well, I don't have an oven. How can I make these? Well, go back and watch my video and I'll show you how to make an oven. Oh, man. Oh, man. So, one question I get asked a lot, too. Has anyone else that's been here a while noticed I stopped talking about YouTube, how to be a YouTuber, and more just, I'm trying to kind of make this about community and knives and stuff, so, yeah. Before I had to get my bearings, so I'm trying to kind of make this about knives, but people are always asking me what my favorite steel is. And, honestly, my favorite steel is whatever steel I'm using to make this new knife. Now, lately, it's been 1095 because I've been obsessed with Hamones. But that's not necessarily my favorite steel. That's just my obsession with Hamones, if that makes sense. Because, you know, I get on something and I want to keep figuring it out and figuring out how to make it better or different ways to do it and all these, you know. Like when I posted that on Facebook, a couple guys were like, man, use nitric acid. And I was like, man, you know, that's one experiment I don't think I could do. He's like, no, you just mix it down to 1 or 2%. And I'm like, yeah, but nitric acid, man, if you open it and you inhale the fumes, it's going to burn out your membranes and stuff. Now, you know, I think I talked about this a couple weeks ago. The etch he showed me looked amazing, but I don't know enough about nitric acid to be like, oh yeah, let's do this and burn my hands off and get chemical burns and stuff like that. Chip says borrow his ghetto forge. Yeah, Chip, that's basically what it's going to be, except without the metal container, it's going to be bricks. Same idea, though. So, yeah, I mean, when people say they have a favorite steel, and I used to say it, you know, I used to say it about 52100. 52100 is my favorite steel. And I love 52100. But you can't, you know, you can't do Hamones with it. You can't. Now, 52100 shines up nice because it has chromium. It holds a really nice edge. You know, it's like a couple steps down from. It's basically 80 CRV and 52100 are like the two steels with chrome in them that aren't stainless, where you don't need an oven to heat. Well, I guess you need an oven, but you don't need tool wrap and the high temps. You can still do it as basically the high carbon temps. Where when you get into D2, in fact, I still have a piece of D2. I have CPM 154. And now that I got my oven fixed, I'm going to have to do those again. But D2 is a fun steel. It just takes a lot higher temps to get it good and all that stuff. You know, AEBL steel, you know, when it comes to stainless, man, it's so workable. In fact, I'd say AEBL is easier to work with than 52100, and it's a full stainless steel. So, you know, favorite steels, man, it's like, well, what category are you talking about? I got a favorite steel in this category, and I got a favorite steel in this category. But then again, when it comes to stainless, you know, I've done what, CPM 154, which, let's see if I can do this without knocking everything over. Oh. Are we still here? Yeah, okay. This is CPM 154, and I never finished it, which it was fun, you know, heat treated and all that, but I never polished it up. But I've never tried any, the super steels like C35 VM and all that stuff, and, you know. Dom, any thoughts on cryo or dry ice and alcohol during heat treat? Yeah, I got a bunch of them. It's basically what you can afford. You know, if you can afford liquid nitrogen and you do enough knives that liquid nitrogen makes sense, because it's, you know, the thing about liquid nitrogen, you have to spend, you know, $200-300 on the vat to hold the liquid nitrogen. So first you got that, and, you know, that it only lasts, I think, don't quote me on this because I've never used liquid nitrogen, but from what I hear, it only lasts about a month or two. So if you're only doing, you know, 3 or 4 knives a month, and you spend all this money on liquid nitrogen, when dry ice works, yeah, see, I used when I did the ABL and the CPM, I use dry ice, which I can get a bag. I think it's like a 25 pound bag for $5 or something like that at my local grocery store. And one thing, oh, Chip says he loves 154 but never worked with any stainless. The thing about dry ice, you know, you can buy a 25 pound bag for like $5, and I see a lot of guys doing this on Facebook and all that stuff. Well, they'll get a big bucket, and you know, they'll crush up all the dry ice into a huge bucket, and then they'll use a whole liter or whatever of acetone for like 3 knives. It's like, okay, now let's think about this logically. You know, acetone's what, $8 or $9 for a little bottle. You're spending $5 on the bag of dry ice. So what I do, I go get a little container that's going to fit all 4 or 5 knives or whatever. I break the dry ice up, I put it in, and I pour just enough acetone to cover everything. And it boils over. You're only keeping it in there for what, 2 or 3 minutes? Why make this big old thing and waste all your acetone or alcohol or whatever you use to mix the dry ice with for that cryo? Why would you use that whole bottle of it when you just need a little bit? Now, okay, 3/4 of the bag of dry ice gets wasted. That's what, $4 or $5 compared to $4 or $5 for the dry ice and all the alcohol and all the acetone or whatever you're using. It just doesn't make sense to me. I mean, you can do it, but you'll get the exact same results if you put a little container with all your knives, 4 or 5 knives, and the container just big enough to hold all the knives. You know, whatever your biggest knife is, get a piece of Tupperware, fit that in, put all your knives in there, throw your dry ice in there, and cover it with acetone until the knives are submerged. And then you got 3/4 of a bottle of acetone left. You know, and I do it outside because dry ice turns into carbon monoxide, or it's either carbon dioxide or carbon, but yeah, you don't want those gases inside, so you do it outside. And then the next morning, the dry ice is all melted, and you still have your bottle of acetone. So that's my theory on cryo. Now, if you guys got a different way or a different reason why it's best to mix it all together, you know, let me know. I'm open. You know, I could be wrong. Just because these, you know, I repeat myself all the time. Just because this is the way I've figured out to do it doesn't mean I'm right. So, Chip says he's sticking with 1084. Yeah. Maybe try some 01 there. Chip. 01's pretty fun too, and it's a tool steel. But that's the main reason I got to do that Ghetto Forge, is to redeem myself of that last time I tried to heat treat outside. Complete failure. Oh, man. But, yeah, so, whew, what time is it? 3:30. Oh, not doing too bad. But, let's get on to the whole Instagram and Facebook thing and YouTube, you know. Now, last week or whatever, I guess it was either last week or the week before, I told you I finally got monetized. Now all those videos, you know, were getting ads and stuff. But the last 2 videos are limited, they say. So they're not completely demonetized, but they're not suitable for most advertisers. So, you know, that shows you right there. YouTube is like, you know, if I was a photographer out shooting all kinds of stuff, I could be out shooting who knows what, but because it's photography, YouTube wouldn't blanket. The only other place I've seen YouTube kind of well, of course guns they come down on, but music, because the European laws put in all these copyright things. So if you play any music, like all these guys that give guitar lessons and stuff, if they're teaching you how to play someone else's song, they get a copyright strike. Now that copyright strike just means that whoever the copyright owner is gets all your money from that video. And they did that because of the European laws. You know, I think it's Article 13 or something, but don't quote me on that. But I noticed YouTube changed their whole system. So now, if you get a copyright strike because of the music in your video, not only does the person making the claim have to pinpoint the exact timestamp where that copyright is, you can actually go in and edit that music out, which was something you could never do on YouTube before. So not only was this something that music is, you know, which music is my passion, so I don't want to, you know, or music is my life, not my passion. You know, I was born a musician, but to see something come down on YouTube like that, oh, people are using the wrong music, and they changed their whole everything to you know, accommodate it. It's like, you know, and the whole reason all this weapon thing started was, I think it started with Logan Paul when he went into that suicide forest and, you know, found that guy hanging, and he posted a video of a guy's suicide. And that's when this whole, you know, ad gate can't, you know, all these advertisers started pulling out and didn't want to advertise with YouTube because of, you know, controversial content. So of course, knives and guns, which the guy hung himself. Knives and guns had no play in that. But of course, oh, it could be a bodily harm. So, but anyway, let's see. Guinevere, can you make a video of you playing guitar? Your music is so relaxing. Go over to my other channel. Put in, let's see what it's, I guess it's just called Dave Erving's music channel. I haven't, it's still there. All my music is over there. So, all that stuff. Even, and in fact, if you go onto my channel, this channel, and hit videos, and it says search by, and you put older videos, you can see where I was playing live with my best friend that died and all that stuff. So, yeah, the first year or two of me on YouTube was all music. And then I started getting into knife making, so. Cat's Cradle Forge. Damn you, Logan Paul. I'm telling you, man. And the thing is, the advertisers won't go away from him, you know, because he's the biggest YouTuber on, you know, well, next to PewDiePie, Logan Paul is like the biggest there is. But he got so caught up with content that he's like, oh, let's go to a Japanese, you know, suicide force as a joke. And, yeah, there was a guy sitting there hanging. But he should have turned the camera off right there. But instead, they kind of made light of it. And you could see him, like, nervously joking around about it, which he went on Casey Neistat's channel and was like, I didn't really know how to react. But that doesn't mean you had to upload it. You could have missed a day. So, but yeah, that's what brought the whole ad thing, ad apocalypse, that's what it was called. And who suffered the most? Knife makers and gun makers, or gun enthusiasts and knife enthusiasts. So, yeah. And you know, every live stream I talk about this, because gun enthusiasts and knife enthusiasts are the people but less likely to hurt you with a knife. You know, we're more responsible. You know, we cherish our knives and stuff. It's people that are careless that are going to hurt themselves with guns and knives and stuff. So, I won't go on that rant again, but oh man, but yeah. So Instagram and Facebook, it's man, it's just a hard, and YouTube. These are things as because, you know, 10 years ago, before social media, you know, you had to go to shows, you had to take your stuff out there. But now it's all online. If you want to do stuff, if you want to do anything, you have to do it online, or you become irrelevant. You know, I've talked about Gary Vee, always talking about that. He's like, and he always holds up his phone. This is the future. Your phone is the future. Everyone has one. Every person has a phone, and that's where they get all their information from. So you need social media if you want to do anything. You know, anything, promote your product, promote your brand, build anything. So to be like, oh, YouTube and Instagram and Facebook are against knives and guns, so I'm just going to ban them. Well, that's not going to hurt them. You know, we could all leave today. Every knife maker, knife enthusiast, gun enthusiast could leave all those platforms. They wouldn't blink an eye. They would still make their billions. In fact, Facebook just got fined, what was it, something like $1 billion or $5 billion that they have to pay? Just a sweep under the rug. So, you know, the thing is, we got to pull together as a community. We got to, you know, help each other out. You know, and I talked about that a long time ago. Yes, we might be competition with each other, but we're also a community together. You know, feeding off each other and helping each other is what we have to do. It's the only way we can overcome what they're trying to push down. Because leaving's not going to hurt them. You know, oh, we'll just take our business elsewhere. Well, see ya. That just gives more room for more people to come in and take your place. So, yeah, finding out new ways, you know, to promote our stuff, to help each other out, you know, sharing each other's Instagrams and sharing each other's Facebook, telling each other where to go, you know, go to these channels, go to this, you know, support them, you know, tell them to do the same thing. Let's, you know, we got to do this. It's the only way around it. You can't fight. Sometimes you can't fight straight on. What was that in the Revolutionary War? Is that Mel Gibson video where he's like, Cornwallis wants to fight straight on. You fight straight on, you die. We got to be the militia. Come out from the sides. So something like that. All you history buffs are probably calling me on my BS, but I'm just thinking off the top of my head. So yeah, if we try to take them on straight ahead, they're going to laugh at us. But if we form community and build the community in other ways to help each other out, then it's a win-win. Because, you know, like I said in the beginning, I understand you're not allowed on Instagram to sell knives. So when you ban hashtag knife sales, that makes sense. But when you ban hashtag knife community, that doesn't make sense. Like, go on Instagram and put in hashtag knife community and go to the bottom. It'll say these are against guidelines and stuff like that. But what can we do about it? It's their site. They have the right to do whatever they want with their site. Facebook, YouTube, you know, if YouTube wants to say, oh, you're talking bad about me, I'm taking your channel out, they have every right to do it. It's their site. So, yeah, I don't know. It's infuriating because I see all these other passions and hobbies, you know, that just flourish. You know, you go on YouTube and you put in how to make it on Instagram, and they tell you, man, you just keep posting this, you build this community, you do this and that. It's like, okay, well, what do I do when these sites don't like my postings and all that, or they're trying to push it out, and I never get a response? You know, Gary Vee, all these guys, all these channels are all like, this is what you have to do to build your brand. You know, be honest, be sincere, do this. And that's fine, I do all that. But what do you do when these sites don't want you on there? Or they're trying everything to push you down. And I never get a response. Except go somewhere else, don't use them. Well, that's not going to do any good for me. It's just going to... It won't even be like a pebble in their shoe. They don't care. So, have I ranted enough about that? It's just something that really bugs me because, man, you know, in fact, Eddie Pennington, GEP3, he said he just made a YouTube channel. And when I posted about how we need, you know, our community and stuff, he's like, man, every time I get into something new, they start figuring out ways to ban it or shut it down. He's like, I just made a new YouTube channel so I can show my stuff. What's YouTube going to do? And I told him, if you're not monetized, they're not going to really do anything. But once you get big enough to be monetized, then they're going to start limiting everything and, you know, trying their best. Don, yeah, but Dave, I'm a fan of For Life because you're absolutely... Thanks, I appreciate it. When people actually see you, they will love your work and personality. I appreciate that. I try to be honest. Hey, what's up, Aaron? I saw that little gemstone you were making. That looked pretty sweet. But yeah, whew, a lot of patience that I don't have. Saw all that file work and stuff you were doing. Whew. Oh man. So I guess I'll make this as the last topic. But when I was starting out, like knife making videos and stuff, and making knives, I used to watch all these channels, probably like you guys watch my channel, you know, for information and all that. But like Alex Steele, I didn't do forging, but I used to, you know, I started watching Alex Steele when he was at like 10,000 subscribers. And he started getting bigger and bigger. But I would comment like paragraphs, like 3 or 4, like you couldn't do like 3 or 4 paragraphs on one thing because they won't read it. But if you do like a small paragraph 3 or 4 times as comments, people start noticing it. But the funny thing is, back then, it wasn't like, oh, I want to comment because I'm interested in building this community. It was, I want to comment because I want you to know who I am and I want you to come see my videos and come see my knives and stuff. And I did that with all the guys. Simple Little Live, you know, any knife maker or anything to do with knives, I would just comment. And, you know, it was great because Alex Steele would like a lot of my comments and even like followed me on Instagram, and Simple Little Life did the same, all this stuff. But the more I did it is when I started realizing, you know, I'm doing this for the wrong reason. I'm doing all these comments and trying to get these people's attention so they could come see my stuff. But at that point, my stuff wasn't good enough to be seen. So it's like, man, you know, looking back on it now, it's like, wow. Man, the fact that they came and followed me and stuff like that's a miracle because that stuff was horrible. And, but man, and it really, when you start talking to these other people, YouTube and, you know, I guess people relate YouTube to like movie stars and TV stars and stuff like that. But on YouTube, it's a whole different dichotomy or whatever because these are just people like us. You know, like you guys are commenting here and talking to me. Manu, regards from Italy. Great channel. Hey, thanks. I appreciate that. But yeah, so, you know, like you guys comment on my channel and all that. I'm just a regular person. You know, I do bad things. I do good things. You know, I mess up. You know, I'm a messy person. I work on this. I work on, you know, we all have our good traits and bad traits. And when you see someone like all the time on YouTube, you start thinking, oh man, these people, you know, you see, oh man, they have so many skills, they do this so much, but they're just regular, you know. I DM Jeremy Simple Little Life every once in a while, man, and he's the same person you see on the camera. And he's always helping and stuff like that and talking and, you know, Alex Steele, he's a little bit more busier. You know, I used to DM him a lot and he, you know, it would be like two or 3 word answers and stuff like that. 4th of July, I DM'd him, you know. I actually asked him, I was like, are you conflicted that the independence you're celebrating today is from the country you live in or your country of origin? And he just laughed. He's like, no, it doesn't bother me at all. And I was like, all right, man, have a great 4th, you know, welcome and blah, blah, blah. And that was probably like the longest one because, man, he probably gets thousands of DMs, thousands and thousands of DMs. So, but yeah, you gotta remember these people you're watching are just normal people trying to make a living like you do, you know, trying to figure it out. And you know, that's the thing. I like you said earlier, you know, why don't I make chef knives? Because that's not my thing. I would make it for fun and I would make it, you know, just to make it, but you know, it wouldn't be something I would do unless I started figuring out how to cook, like Heath from Shepherd's Forge. You know, he's really into cooking and chef's knives and all that. And the last knife he made, he's like, what do you think about this? And I was like, well, it looks good. And in fact, it was the one I did the bevels for, the Damascus I grinded the bevels for. And I was like, man, but that handle looks awkward, stick it up like that. And then he put out a video of why he does it, because it's easier to, you know, he can wrap his fingers under it. See, I don't know any of that stuff about cutting with a chef's knives or anything like that. But, whew, 347. I'm rambling and rambling. Guinevere, that's the best thing about your community. You're not scared of showing your failures. Yeah. Don Mon, can you... You don't have to commission one from me. A kitchen knife? Oh, man. I would hate to because I'm not a kitchen knife guy. I would, you know, I don't want to... I have this philosophy about knives and knife making. Would I sell something that I wouldn't buy? You know, when I started getting better, a little bit better at knife making, my whole philosophy, it took me 2 years to even try to sell a knife because it's like, I wouldn't buy this knife. Why would I try to sell it to someone? And I see a lot of guys that sell knives that, you know, aren't that good, but they make the sales because they're happy with that. But I also see guys that do that don't progress because they're just happy making that same knife and stuff like that. But a chef's knife, I wouldn't know how to make a chef's knife good enough that I would consider selling. I just wouldn't feel right doing it. If that makes sense. I'd love to, commission, blades or something, like even a Bowie knife. That would probably be one of my next builds. And I don't really know much about Bowie knives, but they're in that tactical genre. And, making them, I've made choppers before that I liked and stuff. So that is something that wouldn't be too far out of my realm. But chef's knife, I don't know anything about. I'd hate to make it, and then the balance would be all off, and, because I just don't know anything about chef's knives. But, yeah, man, believe me, there's a lot of guys out there that make really nice chef knives that are worth it. I don't think mine would be worth it. Other than saying you had a chef knife, a one of a kind, but I don't know. Email me. We'll talk about it. My email's always in my description and stuff. But if you're set on it, maybe I could do it. But I as a person, even as a person that's trying to sell things and all that, I'm trying to be honest and be like, I don't know if I would be the best person for the job. So, it's not that I couldn't do it. It's just I don't know if I would make the best one. So, anyway. Alright. I think I'm calling it. Remember, I got shirts up on my website. My website's, I started putting the website in the description first. So that takes you to my knives, my shirts, all the Amazon links, all that stuff. And then everything comes after it. So, yeah, just click on that. It's up in the cards too, but if you're on a phone, I don't think the cards come up and all that stuff. So, yeah, I got shirts. I got 4 or 5 shirts, like this. I think I had 5 knives, but Chip bought 1. He keeps buying all my knives. I think he feels sorry for me. But I definitely appreciate it. It's much appreciation. So, yeah, so 4 knives. I keep saying 5 knives, but I gotta remember there's only 4 up there now. And, yeah. Have a great weekend. Thanks for showing up. I always love these talks. Even though you guys had to sit there and listen to me rant and rave for 50 minutes or 40 minutes. But, yeah. Thanks for watching. Have a great week. Hopefully see you Tuesday, maybe Wednesday, depending on how fast I get this edited. Something real exciting's coming up, though. Real exciting. So, yeah. Thanks for watching. Hope you're having a great day. And as always, take it easy.